Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Say what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's a torta with some wobble habits. Wobble. I said wobble. I said wobble. She's wobble. Hey, check out, man. In a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight to it. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on also that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate every little bit of support that I've been getting, man. Believe me, it's much appreciated. The channel's about to do some twists, some turns. We're going to the top, man. We're doing something different this year. The new year is coming, hums. New year means new surprises. And we definitely got some shit popping. So anyways, let's get to it. I wanted to tell this story because, you know, I remember my homeboy telling me this story, and I always tripped out on the armed forces, right? I always tripped out. I mean, I was this close, gente, this fucking close to going to the Army, you know, going to the Marines, whatever. I was trying to be that all I could be. But, you know, I felt at that particular time, my life was on a different path. You know, I was too entrenched in gangbanging. I was too entrenched in trying to be in the barrio, and, you know, I had just got out of the youth authority. So I was really in a struggle with myself. Did I want to do good or did I want to do hood, right? And I decided to do hood, and I pretty much made the wrong choice. But that's how life is, man. We don't always make the right choices. We mean the right things, but we don't always do the right things. Or we mean to say the right shit, but we always step in shit. Caca. And that's just how it is. So anyways, one of my homeboys did end up going to the Marines, and I had another couple homeboys that went to the Army. And I always thought, you know, when you go to the Army, it's a very structured thing, man. Once you get there, you need to leave all past ideas and past idealisms to the past. You know, you can't go in there and gangbang, and you can't go in there with that mindset, you know, to trip off somebody, say, from LA, or if you're from up north, or vice versa. But that's furthest from the truth. They were gang banging in the armed forces. My homeboy told me there were some times when they would hit the bliñas, man, and handle their business like if they were incarcerated, right? Like it was old YA shit. They would actually, you know, if they had beef, if they had words, some handle their business like grown men. And so I was like, damn, you guys was gangbanging. You guys wasn't gangbanging in Little Rock. You guys was gangbanging all over the country. And it's truth. But this story that I'm going to tell you is how norteños and sureños actually came together versus a whole bunch of cats in the Army, man. So make sure you tap in. So the homie tells me that, man, he joins the Army, and actually he didn't decide to join the Army. They pushed him in that direction. He ends up catching a case with the homies on the calles, man. And when he goes to the judge hits him with the fucking bamboozle. And what the judge tells him is, look, you have a choice. You could be on this much probation and go to the Army, or you can go to prison. So, of course, anybody, man, in their right state of mind will say, fuck it, man, let's go to the Army. Let's go see what it is, man, because, you know, everything that I've ever heard up until this point in the Army, you know, myself, was that, hey, you're going to go see the world, homie. Yeah, you might have to go fight a little bit. You might have to go kill a few people, or you might get killed. But at the same time, in prison, it's the same damn thing. In prison, it's a whole lot of boredom. You can't really get action at anything, and you might get killed. So either way, it's a 50-50 chance of getting dusted and disgusted, if you know what I mean, like an E40 song. So the homie's like, fuck it, man, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the Army, right? So he jams, he goes to the Army, and they station him. And what they do when you go to the Army, man, is you go through first you go to the recruiter's office, and you go through all the paperwork, and they see if you're mentally compliant with what they got going on. And, you know, you got to be a graduate, or at least have a high school diploma or a GED or whatever. And then if you meet the criterion that they set out, then you can go. And it happens fast. You know, I've had a couple homeboys go to the armed forces, and it's an overnight thing, man. It's to the point with one homeboy that he actually went, filled out all the paperwork, did what he had to do, and the next day he was out. Auskis, I'm gone. Valmuskis, shoot the moon. He was gone, right? This particular homeboy, because it was going through the courts and it was mandated that he go, it took a little while longer. And I remember he was telling all the homies, hey, bro, guess, because we were like, how the fuck did you get out? Who'd you tell on? Everybody? So I wondered why the homie Jaime got locked up. He was like, no. They're making me go to the Army. So we were tripping, man, because usually I had another homeboy that got pressed to go to the Army, and he went straight from county jail to get stationed in San Diego. I think he went to the Navy. I'm not sure, right? You know, nah, that's where they sent him. But fucking, this homeboy got out. So he's getting his shit together, man. You know, hugging on all his family, telling all the homeboys, all right, homie, I ain't going to see you guys for a minute. I got to go to the Army. We were proud of him because we were like, hey, bro, go do that. You know what I mean? Spread your wings, let's say, and fly. Go see what's going on in the army. Maybe you'll knock a badass German chick and come back and show up sisters. You know what I mean? And we'll all walk around this motherfucker going, oi, let's do it. So the homeboy jams. And he gets stationed in Southern California. And when he does, he runs into a lot of guys from the South. Sureños. Vatos from LA. And in fact, one of his closest homeboys to this day, man, is a homeboy from Avenues, right? It's a barrio out there. And I believe Northeast LA. This is a good homeboy of his, right? And so when he gets there, he says he fucking, you know, he's tripping, man, because there's a lot of cats from everywhere. See, that's one thing about the armed forces. It kind of seems like federal prison to me. You know, now you're meeting up with guys from every different state, from Idaho, from Pennsylvania, from fucking Vermont, you know, states that you can't even spell. And, you know, being from California, California is looked at, you know, no matter how you try to cut it, dice it, flip it, reverse it, is it worth it? They're always looked at as a gang-related state. There's a lot of people that'll trip you out that are not from California that have something to say about California. There's a lot of people that ain't from California. They either respect it and they're in awe. Oh shit, you're from Cali? Do you fucking know? And that's how you can understand and know someone ain't from California, because they say Cali. I ain't never ran into no motherfuckers from California that say Cali, homes. Period. Plain and simple. That's not a word used in Califas. We don't say Cali. You ain't never gonna hear it go, hey, I'm from Cali, homie. Nah, that's other people gave California the label Cali. If you see anyone, where you from? I'm from California, homes, or I'm from Califas. That's about it. You ain't gonna hear, I'm from Cali. Nah. You know what I mean? I boned a chick named Kelly, but that's about it. So anyways, the homie, he goes out there and he runs into a lot of Southsiders, and he said immediately they were tripping off of him. You know, because these guys were all new. You got to understand, they all went on the same banana boat. They were all fresh to this shit. So a lot of them had that mentality. And a lot of them were still gangbanging. Just because they went to the armed forces didn't mean they dropped their barrio. Didn't mean they stopped all of a sudden. Like, I'm not going to do this shit no more. Most of them were still with the business and the program. Especially the ones that were set there by the fucking law. You know, the ones that were court ordered to go. Which that was his position. So he played his position well. So he said, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He said, right when I got there was a gang of Southsiders tripping off him. And it was him and one homeboy from Hayward, he said. And the homeboy from Hayward was a white dude, but he was with the business. And he said, man, you don't even know how many times we had to go take them blind shots just to earn our respect. Eventually, over time, they all realized that the structure there was much more than the gang. That the army and what they had going on was gonna take precedent over any bullshit that you had going on in the streets, in prison, any of that. Because at the end of the day, you're out there fighting for the freedoms and liberties of the people. So the people run the program. And that structured program of the armed forces is something whole different than, say, on the yard, you know what I mean, doing burpees with the homies. Of course, you're doing it you're not living by the gun, dying by the gun. You're living by the blade and dying by it, right? But in the army, homes, it gets serious, because now what you have to understand is it's all one team. Doesn't matter if you're from a barrio or a gang and all that. And believe me, there's a lot of gang banging that's going on. The homie said they used to have parties all the time. People would get pisteando, they get all fucked up and drunk, and they'll start throwing up their neighborhoods. He said there was one cat from Florencia 13 that was in there knocking every dude out from every dude. He said he used to pick on this dude from Arkansas all the time and give him the business. Banging in Little Rock, right? So, or banging on Little Rock. So anyways, so one day he goes, after a time of, you know, there was a north-south shit, new dudes would come in. They had their set company, pretty much their set dudes where they went, right? He said there was vatos there from Modesto, from San Diego, from Fresno. There was a couple Bulldogs, Crips, Bloods, a little bit of everything. It almost came to a point where it seemed like if you were black and brown, you were from a neighborhood. And the white dudes used to be like, who the fuck are these dudes, dude? Right? There was even a couple Woods that kicked it with the Norteños and the Sureños just because they were from California homes and they knew what time it was. So anyways, he says they get stationed out in Kansas City. And he was hella hype in Kansas City because he's a big time Raider fan. And the Raiders were playing Kansas City, and he figured he could wiggle off and go watch a fucking game, right? Live. Up until this point, everybody wants to go to Arrowhead Stadium. Everybody wants to go see what the Kansas City Chiefs shit bullshit is all about, right? So a shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs fans. Don't hate on me, right? Raiders. So he wanted to wiggle over there. So he said him and a couple of the Southsiders, they had become friends now. You know, or like, hey, fuck it. They were Raider fans as well, you know, back from the old LA Raider days. Like, hey, fool, we can wiggle off, go watch this game, slide back. It's all good, right? And so he said they were making plans, man. And there was this one white guy who I guess was striving to be a sergeant. I can't sit here and tell you all the different fucking levels in the army and how they fucking get stripes. But this guy was trying to be that man, so he was a brown noser. Whole nose full of fucking mierda. You know, they used to call him chorro. This Vato's walking around, and he was one of those guys that's going to hold everyone accountable. Now, in the end, he probably had the right ways of thinking, to be totally fucking honest with you, right? But he was on the homeboy's headpiece pretty tough, man, because the homeboy was like the ringleader. He was a bad motherfucker. Let me tell you, the homie, man, he was one of those homeboys that was an instigator. He wouldn't necessarily do the shit, but he'd instigate the shit. Hey, I think we should go kill this Sureño, huh? Yeah. All right, hey, look, here's the cuetes. Got you. What, you need the keys to my car and shit? Oh, you're not going to go? Nah, because my old lady, we're going to watch fucking Bad Girls Club. But hey, let me know how it goes. Right? You know what I mean? One of them homeboys. You know, he's in check. His old lady's really the jefa de jefas, right? She's calling all the shots. But at the end of the day, man, that's the way he participates. What? I'm down for the hood, Holmes. I let you borrow my Tech 22. And this is the motherfucking thanks I get, right? Yeah, and the homeboy's locked up like, damn, Holmes, where was the homeboy at? So it's scary, you know what I mean? I was watching fucking that chick with the big chin knock out that other chick, Christian Rock. Anyways, so he's like a ringleader. He's always been that way, right? So he starts to gather all these Vatos up. And like I said, man, they push the north-south bullshit to the side, man. That, you know, one thing about being in the armed forces that I heard, man, and I'm not speaking from firsthand experience, this is just coming from the homie and it's his story, is he said, bro, eventually we were always true to our value, but we let it go as far as tripping off each other because we were one team, homie. He goes, we had each other's lives in our hands. It's different when we're trying to kill each other rather than some other motherfuckers from a different country trying to kill us. It's America and fuck everyone else. And I was like, oh shit. The homies started getting all fucking post-traumatic stress and whatever, right? And he told me these stories after, man, he got out of the army and, you know what I mean, the Vato fucking walked funny. So anyways, we're chilling and he tells me that this one particular time, like I said, this white dude was putting him on blast, man. He was tripping and he found out of their little plan to go see this Kansas City Raider game, right? And so he shut that down like, nah, if you guys fucking do this, you guys are going to be drinking, you guys are in violation of this or whatever. And I figured, I was like, what up? In your own time, you can't do what you do, cuz, right? Shit, hey, on Paru, you can't do what you does. But the homie was like, nah, bro, you know, there's certain, we can't leave the base for this, or we have, what is that shit called, man? Where they can't be out all night, man. They have a curfew, right? And he was like, we were planning on going to that motherfucker and wiggling. We're going to wild out. We're going to hit strip clubs, eat fucking some Kansas City barbecue, and do our thing, right? As long as he wasn't sucking up fingers and hooping shit like Wes Watson on the calles, I could deal with it. And so anyways, they said, fuck that way about the saying, we're going anyways. And there was a whole bunch of Woods with them like, hey, we'll get him, Wood. Brother, he ain't white because he ain't right. So they went anyways. They did their thing. Well, I guess the white dude fucking told on him. But see, this white guy, bro, he was from, what state did he say he was from? He was from Connecticut. And this Vato had a gang of people that were of like-mindedness with him. You gotta understand, there's a lot of these dudes that didn't play the bullshit. They didn't give a fuck about the Kansas City Chiefs. They were Patriot fans. Nor did they care about the Raiders, definitely, right? The Raiders are Mexican, right? And black. We can't do that. So this brother comes and tells all the homies after they get in trouble, man, for doing what they did. He tells the homies, he's like, hey, it's that white dude that told on us, bro. That fucking nerd from Connecticut, right? So the homies are like, all right, we're going to get him. So their plan to get him was to snatch him up, you know, and put a little feet and hands on him. Just DP, a little discipline, man, for going against the team. And that would be that. But it became more than that. It became all these different companies, man, all these dudes that started to hate on California. It actually became a California gang thing versus everybody else. And this is what unfolded, right? So he said that they would get this mail that would come, man, and you were able to write unlimited letters. The armed forces provided you stamped envelopes, so you could write your family as much times as you can. And the homie didn't really have too much people. We were gonna write them. Are you kidding me? We're from the neighborhood, eh? Says, we don't write you, especially when you're in jail or army. We can't do that. You know what I mean? What we can do though is accept the collect call every once in a while if the homegirl has that shit on her phone. If not, we'll see you when we see you, Ese. That's the way it is. So the homeboy didn't have much people to write, but he used to take all these stamped envelopes because a couple of the homies that he knew wanted them. So I guess they were allotted a certain amount a day, like you can grab 10 a day or whatever. I've never been, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone that's been in the armed forces, let me know. But this is what the story he told me. So he said he would grab his little portion and shoot him to the homie because the homie had all the bitches, right? Was trying to hook him up with a pen pal because another homie, his homeboy actually from Avenues was married and was trying to hook him up with the primas. So, you know what I mean? He was trying to get him where he fit in. Straight up. He was trying to lavish it. He was trying to lay the fucking red carpet out. So when he got out, he can handle his business of the army. So anyways, I guess this dude told again, you're not supposed to be taking that much envelopes, right? I don't know what part of the Karen game this guy was from, but he was from the top rung of Karenism, right? So the homie felt some type of way. So the homie got off on him right there. Boom, 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 boom. Gets reprimanded. They say that they're going to fucking, take him and put him in a different spot. They don't just kick you out of the army for beating someone up. This shit happens all the time. He said fights were daily, man. Bitches were getting hoed out. There was some crazy shit going on there. He said there was a homegirl from Frisco. She was out there selling the pussy, right? He said it was crazy. So anyways, all these dudes, these white dudes were feeling some type of way. And I say white dudes, and I don't mean it in a racial fashion. They just were, though. And there was a couple brothers with them, too. And maybe sprinkling a Mexican or two. The vatos that think they're high-powered, sprinkle them in. And they actually started to disrespect California, talking about how Norteño and Sureño gangs and Bulldogs and all that was just trash. And that, they were tearing California up. That's the reason why nobody wanted to go there. They were destroying California. And if you look at it from the outside looking in, I guess there is a little bit of destructive nature going on. There is a little bit of people, say from other states, that have some type of bias towards California because they're scared. They don't want to go and wiggle to Califas because they know at the end of the day, they could come up butt naked, get a rope, right? And just if you've grown up there, if you know what it is, man, you know how to wiggle, Rule number 1, get yourself a gun, a 9 in your ass will be fine. You keep it in your glove compartment because jackers, they love to start shit. I mean, Ice Cube laced them up worldwide. If the motherfuckers didn't listen, it's not our problem. So anyways, these vatos are tripping. And there's this big old black dude, he said. Big old dude. He was from Virginia, man. And he was really tripping. He was straight by the book. He said this motherfucker was Gomer Pyle, only the black version, right? He looked like Dave Chappelle, only he had a fucking attitude like Major Payne. So this vato comes and he starts trying to break up this, because they started to actually get teams, like they're going to go at it. Home's a real riot, a melee in the army. And he tells them, hey, we're all one. What happens if we're on the battlefield? What happens if we're out there in Iraq? And motherfucker, this is about the time of the Gulf War. Or not the Gulf War, but they were going out there, the second war with Saddam Hussein and all that in Iraq, right? So, back when Bush was like, hey, they got this, and they didn't really have that, but whatever. So that was then. So the homie was like, hey, bro, fuck all that, These vatos are the ones talking shit, man. We're just trying to do our thing. What this is, gang, right? And the guys are like, no, they're fucking it up for the rest of us. The white guy's saying no, because every time they get in trouble, it gets taken out on everybody. And they're trying to form a gang like California, like all these dudes, right? Which it wasn't them trying to form a gang. They just had the gangster mentality. The mentality was, fuck it, we're trying to fuck some bitches, right? You can't help it that you like men. Let's go, right? But they weren't with that program. So the black dude's trying to break it up, man, and someone swung on this black dude from the northern and southern side, right? Of course, gang members will be gang members no matter where you fucking put them, right? Doesn't matter if they're in Germany, Afghanistan, England, it's still north of our minds, right? And so Vato, actually, a Sureño swung on him. Boom. Him and a Bulldog started to jump this black guy. A Bulldog and a Sureño. Yes, you heard it here first. Into hostilities, right? They started to jump on this black guy, and a rumble kicked off right there in the barracks. The homie said it was on, right? And, they all got in trouble for it. Let's just say that. No one got killed. There wasn't no one stabbing or shooting anyone. It was just a good old fucking fight, like a bar fight, right? Everyone went at it, did their thing. And the homie said, man, he came that close to almost getting kicked out of the army. Which at that point in time, he said he would have just fucking did it, you know what I mean? But they couldn't kick him out anyway, because again, unless he did something crazy, because he was supposed to be there, right? I was like, damn, homie, you got kicked out of fucking California in prison to go to a fucking army, and then you get kicked out of there? The wiggle was real. Anyways, here's the cool part and the twist in the thing. So they did their melee. After that, man, everyone seemed to get along. One of his better friends, he has two best friends. And I've met them in real life. I actually shook their hands and tripped out on the story because he told me from his side. The white guy, yes, the rata, the one who fucking was telling on everyone, ended up becoming one of his better friends, man. It actually saved my homeboy's life. They actually were out there in Iraq, man, and they got into a battle, man, and he actually saved the homie's life. It's a situation where the homie feels like, fuck all the bullshit. It was a funny story. We were drinking. He was telling how they fucking met and how they were going at it. That's how he told the story. You want to know how I met this white dude? This crazy motherfucker from Connecticut? I said, yeah. Tell him, right? We had a gang fight, right? Well, what happened? The Norteños, Sureños, and Bulldogs beat us up, right? And that was that. It's crazy. One thing I know about the armed forces is there are a lot of gangs. And it's almost becoming to a point now, what I'm hearing from a homie is that it's becoming a problem and an issue because people don't want to let the old shit go. And they're actually fucking recruiting and pulling fools, right? Hey, yeah, motherfuckers out there talking about, I'm a Raniel from Alabama, right? Orale, or I'm a Fresno Bulldog from fucking Pittsburgh. What? How does that work out? I don't know, but it's what I am. I am what I am. Anyways, man, it's a trip to think that, you know, you could take the gangster out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the gangster, man. And that's a fact. You know, for other people that disrespect California and don't really know exactly what time it is, not everybody is gang related. You know, it gets a bad name, humps. But at the same time, I remember when I was in North Carolina as a young kid, man, and I had wiggled on my murder charge and I was out there on the run and I was in juvenile hall. And I remember coming out of my cell and everybody was whispering, all the blacks and white dudes, we're little kids, right? And they were like, hey, they came up to me all scared and shit. Are you from Cali? I said, from where? Are you from Cali? I said, oh, Khalifa, yeah, I'm from California. Why, what's up? Do you know Dr. Dre? I looked around and I said, yeah, I know that, brother. What's up? I was claiming the thing. Anyways, with that being said, man, I just wanted to throw a little quick story out there. Truth and facts, man. The Norteños, Sureños, and Bulldogs actually clicked up together to go at it with some of the guys that were regular from the armed forces, man. And ultimately, the homie ended up becoming friends, and it's just a trippy story. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoy your Christmas, your holiday weekend, man. I hope you guys enjoy it. Really take the time to pay attention to your children, man. And be a productive member of society. Go out there, keep your head on swivel, but at the same time, man, don't get caught up in no bullshit. This is the holiday season. This is a time of love, man. Make sure that you take the time to give thanks to whatever entity that you praise, man. You know, to me it's Jesus, but to you it could be anybody. Make sure that you go out there and you give thanks, man. It's his birthday. You know what it is. With that being said, hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming, and remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle to strive and the strive to struggle. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Gunner's going to be the motherfucker wearing the crown right here on heaven's ground. Doing what I does, cuz, man, we got a lot more coming next year for you. I'm working on there's going to be trouble. I'm working on some big things, man. And thank you guys for all the love I've been getting all year long, man. It's fucking so much appreciated. Thank you. Bang, bang.